Okay, let's go, buddy.
My desk lamp is where I find my heaven. It's where I find my head.
I gotta stop. We're going to the bathroom.
Just go, man. That sure is warm.
What's up, guys? Your boy Benny. Part of the problem with having too much news to talk about is that you miss some important things that are happening. But with the president getting nearly assassinated, with Joe Biden dropping out, Kamala Harris's fake-ass campaign, there's just been so much, actually. So I mean, it's never been more interesting time to chat about politics. But ladies and gentlemen, I saw this little piece of information pop into my feed, and I said, my goodness, we got to cover that. Here's the Sturgis Rally in South Dakota. I'm from Iowa. It's a border state with South Dakota. I've gone to South Dakota many times. I like South Dakota. Sturgis, South Dakota hosts the largest motorcycle rally, big concert, right? Big motorcycle festival in Sturgis every single year. It is massive if you've never heard of it. It's super badass. These are what the photos look like. I mean, you can see here, obviously, there's like thousands upon thousands upon thousands of motorcycles all throughout Sturgis, South Dakota. People drive there. It's a beautiful ride, and people come from all over the country and all over the world, actually, to go to Sturgis, South Dakota for the motorcycle rally, and it's just massive. I mean, it's huge. So something strange happened at the Sturgis motorcycle rally, the most famous motorcycle brand in the world, Harley Davidson. This is, right? Arguably, I don't classify myself as a massive gearhead, right? I do like cars. I do like motorcycles. But as far as name ID and brand ID, Harley Davidson's got to be one of the biggest brands in the world, if not the biggest motorcycle, most famous as far as brand ID motorcycle on earth. Another day at the Sturgis Rally, another day of the Harley Davidson tent being a ghost town. Very few people walking inside. Typically, the tent is packed. When we expose wokeness, it's powerful. Bikers do not want wokeness from Harley Davidson.
Give you a look under the Harley Davidson tent. A lot of people have been asking me, is there really a Harley boycott going on in Sturgis? Well, we wanted to come out here and show you. Remember last year, Psycho Drag showed you the Budweiser tent, and unfortunately, it looks like for the motor company this year, it may be affecting them. It looks like participation is way down under the Harley tent. As for the reason for this boycott, Harley accused of going quote-unquote woke by some. Because of that, not many have entered this booth, at least not today, here in Sturgis, South Dakota at the 84th annual rally. Let me know your thoughts down below. Cycle Drag will continue to monitor this situation for you. Keep it locked to Cycle Drag YouTube, Cycle Drag Facebook, and we'll see if business picks up at all for Harley Davidson as this rally continues. Attendance is very, very strong, but not here under the Harley tent. So there may indeed be something to this much talked about Harley Davidson boycott.
So the Harley Davidson tent has nobody at it. It's our boy, Robbie Starbuck, of course. You know Robbie. He's been on the show a couple times. He's a friend of us, and he's the man who brought you the Tractor Supply boycott, along with the John Deere boycott. And Robbie Starbuck began a Harley Davidson boycott by exposing wokeness inside of Harley, brought about by their Bond villain CEO. We'll get into that guy in just a second. Believe that. It's time to expose Harley Davidson, says Robbie Starbuck. Robbie's a genius. We love Robbie. This is his account. You should go follow him. 500,000 people do. Robbie uses the tactics of the left, meaning he goes after the cultural power centers of conservatives, using the model that we all used with Bud Light, and goes after brands who decide to disgrace all of us and spit in our faces. Harley Davidson, like all the people who sell, show me a lib who owns a Harley Davidson dealership. No, I don't think so. Show me libs who ride Harley Davidsons. Most people who ride Harley Davidsons, not Joe Biden supporters, okay? Most, maybe some, not Joe Biden supporters, okay? The Joe Biden supporters are driving hover rounds, right, through their nursing homes, or one of those Lime bikes. I mean, they're not riding Harley Davidson. Robbie Starbuck takes these brands that have conservative customer bases, that betray their conservative customer bases, John Deere, Tractor Supply, with wokeness. And Robbie, exposes that, and it's amazing what he's doing here. So anyway, from the guy who brought you all that, and Tractor Supply has deleted all their wokeness, said they're not going to do that anymore. John Deere's done the same. Here comes Harley. Harley Davidson is one of the most beloved brands in America. Their CEO, Jacques Zeitz, watch, they've gone totally woke. Here's what we found. Openly supports the Equality Act, which allows men in the girls' bathroom, sports and locker room. Harley Davidson funded all-age Pride Festival. 1,800 employees had to do virtual training on how to become Alphabet allies. Founding members of the Wisconsin Alphabet Chamber of Commerce, the chamber opposed laws that would have banned sex changes for kids in Wisconsin on behalf of business. They represent Harley-Davidson-sponsored Alphabet Entrepreneurship Boot Camp. Woke CEO Jacques Zeitz signaled that the CEO of Action Diversity Inclusion page made February and March months of inclusion because apparently Pride Month isn't enough. Multiple woke United Way trainings. Donated millions to the United Way, United for Equity. Equity, unbelievable. It's Marxism, it's communism. Sent some white male employees to a white male-only woke diversity training program. Harley Davidson is openly working to have less white suppliers, dealers, and employees. Harley Davidson partners with the Pride Ride. Harley Davidson supports Pennsylvania Youth Congress, who helped create gender-neutral licenses in Pittsburgh. Partnered with the far left Human Rights Council to support Alphabet causes. Hosted Alphabet events, corporate events, so on and so on and so on and so on. Whoa. Holy smokes. I'll play Robbie's video in just a second. Here's my question. Here we go. What does this have to do with making a motorcycle? What does it have to do with making a motorcycle? Somebody explain that to me. Why do you need to do this? I am not listen, man. I'm a radical believer in you do you. Just don't you do you, okay? You do you. People make bad decisions day and night. I'm not here to control your decisions. In fact, that sounds like hell on earth to me. Me micromanaging the decisions of another human, controlling another human. I don't want that. Here's all I'm asking. On your own personal time, go donate to all this crap. If you're the woke CEO, donate or support anything, go march in whatever parade you want to. Okay? Why does a company have to do it? Why? In what world does a motorcycle company have to do all of this political activism? If you're a movie company, make movies. If you're a children's movie company, make children's movies. If you're a beer company, make beer. If you're a hat company, make hats. If you're a cell phone company, make a cell phone. If you're a tractor company, make a tractor. If you're a company that sells chicken feed, sell the damn chicken feed. Nobody cares about your politics. Why are you using that? I know why, obviously. But it's worth complaining about, as Robbie does. Again, I'll play the video in just a second of him exposing them. You can see the effects that it's already having here because nobody is going to their stupid little tent at the biggest motorcycle event of the year. Bloomberg writing, Harley Davidson reveals ongoing DEI review after activist attack. Motorcycle maker reassessment began earlier this year. Many anti-DEI activist Robbie Starbuck targeted the company this month. Harley Davidson sparks a boycott call for going totally woke in DEI policies. Oh yeah, baby. This is a banger from Robbie. Now, what Robbie does is he really centralizes the targets. A reminder that Harley Davidson, and during the peak of the Bud Light boycott, Harley Davidson released a Harley Davidson Budweiser can. Oh yes, baby. This is what that ad looked like.
The greatest legacies are built with grit and resilience, one detail at a time. Limited edition Budweiser Harley-Davidson cans. For those who give everything to their craft. This Bud's for you.
Birds of a feather, right? Birds of a feather. Little did we know, ladies and gentlemen, that Bud Light had gone completely woke, Harley Davidson had gone completely woke, and they were tricking, bamboozling conservatives into buying these products and funding woke. And that's the point. I'm not going to talk too much about this. That's the point. The point is, you take money. We are the majority in the country. You take money. We are the people who have wealth in the country. You take money out of our pockets to fund your politics. It's so evil, and you do that through corporations. You also fund, like, actually immoral things. Check this out. Harley Davidson admits they select board members based partly on ethnicity and gender. How is this legal? Look at this. The basis of diversity that he or she would bring to the board, including the respect of business professionals' expertise, ethnic, and gender. You know, there's literally the Civil Rights Act does the opposite. The Civil Rights Act says you cannot discriminate based on race and gender. So this is like, I'm waiting for somebody to actually do a landmark case against this stuff because it's in total violation of an act of Congress where you're not allowed to discriminate based on race and gender. This doesn't look legal to me, says Robbie. Anybody have insight into how this is allowed under our anti-discrimination laws? Yeah, it doesn't. Go read the Civil Rights Act. Somebody who I'm not even sure could barely read is the CEO of Harley Davidson, Jochen Zeitz. Jochen Zeitz is somebody who sounds like a Bond villain, talks like a Bond villain, and clearly hates his customer base. He clearly hates his customer. It's always the same. It's all the same. They hate their customers. They use the company as a money laundering operation into left-wing causes because they despise their customer base. It's always the same thing, these guys. Listen to this guy.
If you think about this divisiveness, I just want to visit it a little bit.
CEO of Harley
because
Davidson.
I think we can all agree that we're living through a crisis of trust.
Try and minimize that chance, whether it's about you getting ill or a friend of yours getting ill. You try everything to avoid that, right? So you don't need total certainty and belief to try and ensure that something bad doesn't have a chance of happening. So I think that's how you have to look at it, whether you believe in climate change or not, whether you believe in biodiversity or not. If the chances are high that something bad could happen, you want to avoid it.
So this guy's just pretty much like an eco-terrorist, right? And he brags about it in multiple instances. Harley Davidson CEO Jochen Zeitz brags about his friends referring to him as the Taliban of sustainability, and that his group had a role in the Paris Climate Agreement. He also trashes Harley Davidson for not being sustainable enough.
I joined Harley Davidson on the board. And many of you may say, what's sustainable about Harley? Well, there really wasn't anything sustainable about Harley at the time. In fact, I was greeted with a lot of skepticism in Milwaukee when I knocked on their door as the first ever non-American board member. And my today good friend and CEO from Gucci called me the sustainable Taliban.
Sustainable Taliban. Okay, all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this guy is going the way of the Taliban, meaning he is under quite a bit of a fiery attack from Robbie Starbuck, who exposed them entirely in his video. Great reporting. We'll continue following up on this. Again, it's just been a crazy saturated news cycle. The great Robbie Starbuck. End these people. Vroom, vroom.
Y'all, this may be the most shocking expose that I've done simply because the brand is so out of alignment with their customers. This is Harley Davidson. It's time for them to be exposed. In Harley's words, they are all in on diversity and inclusion. Now, let's take a look at what that means. I wonder how many Harley riders are aware that Harley Davidson is a platinum founding member of the LGBT Chamber of Commerce in Wisconsin. This is the same chamber that says on behalf of the businesses that are a part of the Wisconsin LGBT Chamber, they opposed banning transgender sex changes for children. Harley Davidson even hosted an LGBTQ plus boot camp at their corporate offices, and look at that sweet cake they got them. Isn't that just so inclusive? Here's a closer look at that cake for all you Harley riders out there. So who's Harley Davidson's CEO? Well, it's another CEO that was placed right around COVID.
Jochen Zeitz is an unusual choice to lead Harley Davidson. He's German. He's an outspoken climate activist.
The businessman who uses his millions to change opinions on climate change. Are you getting Harley Davidson vibes yet?
In 2030, that we should be completing that total transformation of the company.
If his goal is the total transformation of Harley Davidson, well, he's well on his way. They sponsored this LGBTQ plus Pride event where they had a rage room. And I am not joking, something called a rage room to, quote, let off steam. It was located right next to the story time area for children to interact with drag queens and the play catch with a dad for all those who had daddy issues. In Harley's so-called sustainability report, they also say that their 1,800 global employees completed a virtual training to learn what an ally is to the LGBTQ plus community, and that employees also participated in an engaging and interactive learning session that allowed them to explore social identities, both seen and unseen. We all know what that means. And then again, in honor of National Coming Out Day, employees attended a virtual session featuring Sandy Eichel. Let's see who Sandy is.
Sandy Eichel is not your typical financial services speaker. Once a Lutheran pastor's wife, a professional opera singer, and a consummate perfectionist, Sandy had the picture-perfect life. But inside, she was miserable. So she chose a new last name, a new career, and a whole new life and mindset, which elevated her to the top of her profession.
We have to change our culture, and we need to do it quickly.
In their sustainability report, their CEO also brags about their 90 out of 100 HRC CEI score. This score is one I've explained many times before, but essentially is the Trojan horse that pushes all these left-wing values into corporations. And this score begs the question, is Harley Davidson's health plan covering the transition of children? That's one of the metrics that the HRC CEI score judges. And if you're a Harley Davidson dealer, guess what? They've got a plan for you heading into 2032. They want to increase the diversity across the global dealer network at both the staffing and owner-operator levels. That's a fancy corporate speak way of saying less white people. I think it's important to note at this point that the CEO of Harley Davidson is making almost $12 million a year while making these changes. In Harley Davidson's sustainability report, they also bragged that their legal department participated in the American Bar Association's 21-day challenge. Through 21 days of short readings and videos, the challenge encouraged participants to step out of their comfort zones to acquire greater racial literacy and inspire engagement in the fight against racial inequality. So let's take a look at what's in that challenge. It promotes the widely debunked and racist 1619 Project. It promotes a radical book called Black Panthers and White Lies. It promotes the idea that climate change is harming expectant black mothers, and they promote Marxist Ibram Kendi, who says you can't be an anti-racist unless you're anti-capitalist. This training also supports illegal immigration, and it supports the Marxist Black Lives Matter organization. That's not all though. This training also makes the case for reparations. Harley Davidson sponsored York County Pride. Here's some photos. Totally normal stuff. I'm not even sure what's going on here. Celebrating Pride Month is not enough for Harley Davidson, though. Under their new CEO, they also made March and February months of inclusion. Don't worry, though, because they never miss Pride Month. They also brag in their sustainability report that they support the HRC's call for the Equality Act to be passed. So what is the Equality Act? The Equality Act is a lot like naming a bill, vote yes if you want to save Puppies Act, and then inside the bill, it actually mandates that you kill puppies. The Equality Act in reality has nothing to do with equality. It's about stripping women of their spaces and allowing men into bathrooms and locker rooms. So you can expect to see more bathroom assaults like this. For all you Harley riders out there, I want to be explicitly clear. Harley Davidson supporting the Equality Act being passed means that they support boys competing against your daughters in sports, stripping them of their championships, their opportunities, and their scholarships. It also means that they support men following your daughter into the bathroom, and your daughter is supposed to shut up and be okay with it. But if Harley Davidson did not support the Equality Act and men following little girls in the bathroom, they probably wouldn't win cool awards like this from the LGBT Chamber of Commerce in Wisconsin. So, I mean, really, what matters more here? Harley also apparently did a PFLAG training, that is an organization that supports child sex changes. And here's a quote here, Harley Davidson becoming a trans ally and going beyond the binary. Again, are you feeling Harley vibes yet? If you've been watching my series exposing woke companies, then you're familiar with United Way, who was a partner with John Deere doing a 21-day equity challenge. That challenge is one of the most insane far-left pieces of propaganda I have ever seen, and again, United Way pops its head up here with a $320,000 donation from Harley Davidson. So I said, that's weird. How much money has Harley given them? Turns out it is millions. Here's United Way Milwaukee bragging about one of those $1 million donations. So my question is, why is Harley Davidson supporting with millions of dollars an organization that is pushing far-left Marxist propaganda on the public? Are Harley riders really cool with supporting an organization like this? Speaking of things coming back around, remember this Bud Light fiasco? And remember how John Deere was also on a Budweiser beer? You seriously cannot make this stuff up. But anyways, back to United Way. If you don't remember them from my John Deere expose, here's a reminder of what their 21-day equity challenge was like. It was recommended to me that I read Ibram Kendi's How to Be an Anti-Racist. It says, read Awake to Woke to Work, Building a Race Equity Culture, essentially a book about bringing wokeness to work. Another challenge option I received was to listen to the podcast episode, Bias Isn't Just a Police Problem, It's a Preschool Problem. No, I'm not joking. And just when we thought we were done with Ibram Kendi, they're discussing his book, Anti-Racist Baby. Yes, that is the children's book about anti-racism. When I was recommended a book about black transgender people, the first thing that popped in my mind, by the way, tractors. This 21-day equity challenge from United Way also recommended that I watch the 2018 video Deconstructing White Privilege by Robin DiAngelo. Again, another far left figure. So in case you're doubting that Harley Davidson also participated in training with United Way after giving them millions of dollars, well, it's right here. They had more than 65 Milwaukee area employees attend a panel discussion to learn more about the long-standing discrimination issues in the community and how COVID-19 has highlighted the inequalities in our society. Harley Davidson also brags in their sustainability reports that they had employees go for leadership training and diversity training at United Way. And the 15 employees participated in conversations on race with the YMCA, along with other employees who had to go to the White Men is Full Diversity Partners training. That is a white male only training course. That's not enough though. They also had 50 employees take part in a training with the Human Library Organization. Let's take a look at the Human Library Organization. No surprises here, but I really wanted to make sure all you riders are aware that the Harley supported Pride Ride in Wisconsin is a safe space for you. Again, no, I am not joking. Harley's Activism does not stop there. They also were named a top business partner for LGBTQ plus inclusion by the Pennsylvania Youth Congress, who they support. And the Pennsylvania Youth Congress is also responsible for getting gender neutral IDs in Pittsburgh.
Harley Davidson is an American icon. Its CEO, Jochen Zeiss, is taking it down a new road.
Well, they've got that right. Now meet Ryan. He's Harley Davidson's program and project management, and he says that he is so proud to work at a company where this is not a controversial post to make, especially in the current environment with anti-trans and anti-drag bills passing all over the country. This is on Transgender Day of Visibility. Now, let's be very clear what he's talking about. He's talking about laws that ban sex changes for kids and ban children from being able to attend sexual drag shows. Those are the laws he's opposing, and apparently, in his view, that is not controversial at Harley Davidson, that he supports kids being able to get sex changes and kids being able to go to drag shows. Ryan also seems to hold the view that a company going woke does not mean it will go broke, so I think this might be a good test case. Let's find out if Ryan's right. If you think that Harley Davidson has fallen totally out of alignment with its core customers that have made that company great and successful, then here's their customer service number to call. And here's Harley Davidson's media department contact information if you have any questions or a request for comment as to whether or not they're going to continue down this path of wokeness and DEI, or if they're going to turn around before they destroy this once great American company. And finally, you may want to call or write their owners group, okay? The Harley owners group, they would want to hear from you about anything that you're upset about as a Harley rider. And this last part is to the CEO of Harley Davidson. I know you're watching this video, so let me tell you what your customers actually want, because it's pretty easy. Just get rid of the social issues and divisive causes. Make great motorcycles and provide great customer service. No more CEI scores, no more DEI departments, no more woke trainings, no more donations to woke causes, no more donations to pride parades that parade sexuality to children. Just make motorcycles, period. It was a great motorcycle company, and you were destroying it if you continue down this path. You have a chance to turn around now, and we're very forgiving out here. You want forgiveness, though? You need to turn around and stop all of this wokeness and get back to the core business that made Harley Davidson great.